welcome back to my channel. Today I want to share about my story, how I end up traveling alone. So when you're traveling alone, you have to figure out things on your own. You have to be brave to approach strangers, asking questions if you have any struggle, if you need any recommendation. You have to making friends. You should not be shy talking to strangers. Traveling alone always has a downside and a good side. So what's the good side of traveling alone? Traveling alone, you can be able to spend more time to yourself. It's way more peaceful. And you can decide anything you want. You can always change your mind. But when you're traveling with your buddies or with your partner, like if you had the stable relationship with someone, you always have to think about someone, not always think about yourself. Because it's always about the both sides. If you often use a dating app like me, if you feel like lonely, you want to find someone to talk to, or you want to find someone to date out, then you will probably use dating app very often, and you will start search people to match, right? And that's the good side of traveling alone. If you're traveling alone, you can be able to spend more time for dating and socialize, making new friends around. I tried quite a few times approach some strangers in a restaurant or on a beach, and it was much easier than the dating apps. I think when people are on the vacation, they not use their phone all the time. So it's probably easier to meet people in person. And I think it's even more fun. Like, I personally don't like spend so much time on the internet, texting. It just wastes so much time. And I'd rather just meet people in person. And you can feel more emotion. It will be more fun. Because when people to see face to face, it's even more easy to getting more connection. But online, without face-to-face, there's no connection to develop. It's hard to develop a connection. Takes time to getting to know each other. I started being backpacker since I was 19, so basically I was traveling alone, moved to different location and moved to the island. So I started traveling in Taiwan, moved to the southern Taiwan, and it was the butt of Taiwan. The place is called Kending. It's the place you can start freediving and surfing. So first of all, I started surfing. And after I found my job there, then I met someone, and I started freediving. And after COVID, when I moved to Taipei, and then after 1 month, I moved to the East Coast. And after a few months, I moved to the island outside of Taiwan. It was the tiny, small island. It's also part of the South. That's how I started freediving. And after a few months, and I decided go to the Green Island to experience for 1 month. So since I found this place, I thought about to settle down there for the rest of my life, or just for a while, for a couple years, because like once you find the place related to your hobby, then you will like to spend more time to live in there and even to find a job there. So that's the place you can be able to surfing basically every day, and even freediving a lot. I can't guarantee you can be able to freedive every day, because depends on the ocean and the season, but pretty much you can go regularly. Yeah, the weather is like the summer, and even the winter is just windy and raining sometimes. It wasn't too bad. But everything is very expensive to live there. It's like the place people go for vacation and honeymoon, and it's way more expensive than Bali, to be honest. At that time, I experienced total 1 year to the different locations. As long as I can find a place related to ocean, then I will be happy enough, and I don't even care about how much money I had that time. Like, even I used to struggling about my financial, and used to struggling with my job because like they pay not so well, and sometimes I had the preference to pay my rent, but most of the time I try to be happier as much as I can be, because as long as I can be able to surfing and freediving regular, then that was the biggest passion. So yeah. But after 19, I back to Taipei and everything just started change the way I think. And I think money is bigger part of my life. Money can helping you to achieve your goal, can find your happiness, like material freedom. I think going camping alone or traveling alone, being a backpacker alone, it gives you more challenge, gives you more freedom, because you are the one has to be more responsible. You deal on your own things for everything. I used to traveling to different countries with my parents, but since I was 21, it was my first time ever traveling alone. And actually, I don't think Taiwan is the only place is safer in the world. I also think in Bali and Korea, Japan, and Thailand, it was pretty safe to traveling alone as I'm a female. So I think, of course, definitely you have to pay a lot of attention when you traveling alone, especially you are the girl. Be careful with your wallet, be careful with your phone, and don't wear anything too fancy, or yeah, you can wear classy or casually. Of course, some people mention me they had a bad experience from Bangkok, and Bangkok is not 100% safe at all. Like some bad things can still happen to you, especially you are the girl. But most of the places I went in Thailand was more like the vacation and honeymoon places. It was more Westerner more than the local there. So most of the people are very safe there, and nobody were opposed to strangers, but everyone are seems very friendly and they're willing to answer your questions and socialize a bit. So if you are not shy, you can always socialize easily, just being nice and smile. And yeah, also yeah, don't think the place is very insecure. All the places I went, Koh Samui, Phuket, Tokyo, Phuket are pretty safe. People are generally wonder, how can I end up traveling alone? How could you being so brave? Like, don't you have friends or a boyfriend to go with you? Don't you feel lonely and insecure? Of course, I do feel lonely sometimes. That's why I'm traveling here to making friends. And I think it's easier to making all my own decision without others. And I think it's easier to deal with on my own, because it's hard to relate it to her time or to my time. So that's why I end up traveling alone. It's not I prefer. But I also enjoy to spend time to myself. Since I was a kid, I used to spend a lot of time to myself until now. So I'm very get used to with myself, very comfortable with myself. I also like to traveling alone because I can making not just the friendship. I also would like to making romantic connection because like I enjoy dating and I enjoying to meet someone, and it's gonna be romantic, go to the beach together. I just have this thought. It would be so nice if I'm traveling alone. If you had desire wanted to traveling, but why don't you traveling alone? It's because you can't go by yourself because you are insecure or you don't think you will be motivated if you're traveling alone. You need someone to go with you. But if you keep thinking like this, if you getting older or you always are single, are you gonna wait until you getting older, or you wait until you getting a boyfriend and then you start to traveling? Then I think that's too late. If you have desire now, then you have the motivation, then you should just go for it. You should not wait. You should just book the flight and go to traveling by yourself directly, like me.